Ladies and gentlemen, come with me if you will. Come with me on a little trip back in time. 1860 to be precise. 1860 is when the Redland Bay region was first discovered. 1863 is when the surveyors went out and banged their first pegs into the ground. 1870 was when Squinty McFarlane decided this was a great place to set up the Redlands Bay Hotel. And funnily enough, some 3 years later, the need for a school arrived. Anthony Gorman is my name. A pleasure being your auctioneer today. On behalf of Place Estate Agents, we're here to sell for you today 25 Smith Street, Redland Bay. In just a moment, we'll run through some of the terms and conditions of our auction. We'll briefly recap on the contract of sale, of course, and then certainly those registered buyers, you'll have that opportunity to raise your hand and bid fairly on what is a magnificent piece of property. Just on that, ladies and gentlemen, I will only accept bids today from registered buyers. If you haven't registered, you still have to the third call, although I do suggest you get that underway early so we can save any confusions later on. I need to keep a clear track of each and every bid and where it's coming from today, and obviously we'll see you using your auctioneer panels that have been provided to you. The highest approved bidder today will be the buyer, subject to, of course, the reserve being met or indeed the seller's approval. And that buyer will then meet with me at the kitchen table where we will sign off on the contract of sale, which of course you warrant your ability to complete in the given terms. Of course, being an auction, the 5-day cooling off period does not apply, and neither does the terms of the building and pest and finance clauses. So they have both been struck and omitted from the contract of sale that will be on offer for you today. Contract of sale is the freshly baked 9th edition. Thank you very much, Queensland Law Society. 25 Smith Street, Redland Bay is what's on offer, or legally known as Lot 185 on RP 62849, representing 922 square metres approximately of beautiful bliss in the heart of Redland Bay. As previously mentioned, there is no finance or building and pest clauses. We're here to buy today unconditionally. The deposit payable will be $15,000. You'll be asked to contribute that at the fall of the hammer. We of course have no swimming pool as yet, provision for you to do that later on, so that clause is ticked no on the contracts. Safety switch and of course compliance smoke alarms are installed. We are calling for settlement here on the 11th of January, and point of note, there is an annexure to the contract, but this does run consistent with what has been on display for you previously, noting a dispute on the neighbourhood fence, which we will discuss for you, I'm sure. Before we move on with proceedings any further, is there any, as auctioneer, I'll give you an opportunity to ask me any questions on the terms, condition of auction, the contract of sale, or indeed the property. Yes, sir. Just in relation to the dispute over the fence, the application made to QCAP. That's correct. Could you explain that to me? Well, I assume that you've had some legal advice on this before this stage, but yes, the dispute has been submitted by the neighbour to the property on that. Relevant to clause 7.8 in the contract though, the dispute will then carry on with this property. So,
Mr. Auctioneer, I
yes, ma'am.
That there's a large patch of mould in the corner of the ceiling in the living room, which I find quite disgusting. Can that be cleaned up, or will that be cleaned up before settlement?
Well, I'm assuming it could be cleaned up. Maybe by settlement. Well, look, it doesn't have to be, of course, but as a buyer, you would have done your due diligence and checks during the course of the proceedings, so I hope that you'll be satisfied with the nature of that. It might just be their children's with water guns, but you'll find that out. Anyone else have any other questions or before we move along? Well, fantastic. Redland Bay. It actually got its name, do you know, because of the rich red fertile soils, red land, and of course, funnily enough, by the water. The fertile soils, the fertility of this ground is exactly the reason why we're moving on here today. This home has been a fantastic home for my vendors. They really loved it here, but of course, the growth of their family, much like the cause of Squinty McFarlane's pub, really necessitates their need to move on. The home itself, as I say, with 900 square metres of land, has been a boon for these kids to play in. the nature of the property certainly lends itself to just traditional family living. And with a heritage area like this, where you've got providence, where you've got a sense of community, where you've got a good old-fashioned shopping district 200 metres away from you here, this is what we're all buying here today. This is what it's all about. This is about creating those cherished family memories for yourself to pass on and down. And the nice sellers, they've really enjoyed this home. They really have. They've certainly lived life fully here, but they're still staying in the area. They love it here. This area provides for them, and it will provide for you as well and your needs. So ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to open this up for your bid and consideration now. 25 Smith Street, Redland Bay. You've all seen it. You all love it. You're here to buy. Bid or a start, who'll get me away today? 320, and welcome to the bidding, ma'am. 320, I'll look for another 10 if you like from there. At 320 bid, am I right? At 320, say 30 if you like. At $320,000 bid, now here.
325.
Short and stride. 325, I will take it though, at 325 and 30 and straight back. And 2 in the bidding at this stage at 330 we are bid. At 330 bid is against you now, at 330 on my right. At 330 bid, come with me again, another 5 if you would. At 330 now. At 330 bid for the first, second, third time. Quick auction this one, but look, I'll put in a vendor offer if you like at that 335. 335 bid with me. Bid with me now at 335,000. It's against you both. 42, 42. Fresh bidding now against you both. At 342 now here. At 342 and say 45 if you would. At 342 now here. At 345, well bid back in. 345 and sorry. Okay, 352 we've got. At 352 now, bid look on now. 352 now, it's against you now. You're out at that. At 352, the bid's at the back. At $352,000 now. At 352 and say 55 now. Surely come with me again. At 352. 357. 357 now, better bidding. 359, I thought you would. At 359 we have. 360, well played. At 360 is the bid. You're both out at this. At 360,000. At $360,000 bid. Have they registered to bid prior? Well then, I won't take the bid unless they've registered. We have it clearly outlined that, and so I won't take their bid unless they want to register. So would they like to register, and then we can maybe look at their bid from here. But the bid's clearly to my right at 360,000. At $360,000 we've got, and a 1 at 361. 361 now here, and I thought we'd get to this point. At 361 we've got 361. You're out at that. 362. Good bidding now, $362,000 bid. At 362 now, come with me again if you would, at 362. At 362 now for the first call at 362. Second, are you finished and done? 365, big and bold. 365 we've got now at $365,000. And always put the keys in your pocket. 367.5. And 367.5 now against you both. 367.5. 368.5, 368 and 500 at 368.5 now. For the first time at 368.5, second time you're finished and done. 368 for the third.
I'll give you another 500.
369. Almost put the keys in your pocket, didn't I? 369 we've got at 369. At 250. Why not? We're playing for keeps now at 369, 250. 369 and a quarter here at 369 and a quarter. At 369, you've come with me for so long. Come again one more time at 369, 250. Be ashamed to go back to the REIQ website tomorrow. 369, 250. First time call at 369, 250. Second, are you finished? One more 1,000? Yep. Bit of bidding. 370 and 250. 370,000 and a half. 370 and a half, 370 and a half. Thought you would. At 373. At 373, and don't miss it now at this. At 373 before we go. At $373,000 called. At 373 for the first time called. We're selling. Second time called. Are you finished and all done? Third, final time. 373,000. Selling. Selling. Sold. Well bought. Congratulations to our bidder, commiserations to our underbidders. We hope to find your property real soon. I'm Anthony Gorman, on behalf of Place Estate Agents. Enjoy your afternoon.